Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
In the news tonight, thousands celebrate Diwali. People question Rambukani's status. And supporters gives reason for voting for Fiji first.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
Diwali, the most important mark date for all Hindus, not only in Fiji but around the globe. Most families say celebrating Diwali does not happen overnight, as there are many things that need to be done before the actual day. Catherine Krishna caught up with some families in the Suva area who were busy with their last-minute preparations and filed this report.
For some, it takes a few days to prepare for Diwali. However, this particular resident from Nanuku settlement says her preparations has taken a month.
For 1 month, we have been saving little by little and buying some groceries and items to make sweets, and now we are ready to celebrate.
The mother of one says at times she had to sleep late just to get sweet things right.
Every day after work, I used to make sweets. I made some last week Sunday and this week Monday. I even made some sweets at the last minute yesterday.
Diwali isn't all about just making sweets and sharing it with loved ones. It's also about cleaning, which takes a lot of effort and time.
For 2 weeks, we are cleaning the house, and then for 1 week, we started for the sweets and everything. Me and my mother-in-law, together we made some sweets.
Happy Diwali! Happy Diwali! Diwali is believed to be the darkest night according to the Hindu calendar, and people light candles to overcome this. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
We now cross live to Catherine Krishna, who is in Nandawa in Suva with the family who are originally from India. Catherine, what is it like for this family to celebrate Diwali in Fiji, and how is the atmosphere?
Well, Jackie, the Pipalia family has been spending Diwali in Fiji for more than 20 years, and it has been a different experience for them every year. So the atmosphere here is crazy. The children are playing with firecrackers, and they are making the most of the sweets that has been prepared for them. And of course, they are being supervised by their parents. But here with me is Mr. Sunil Pipalia. So, Mr. Sunil, what's different about this year's Diwali for you and for your family?
Actually, I'm here from last 6-7 years, and from last 6-7 years, this year I moved to this place in Nandawa, and Nandawa got so many families and friends closer to my place, so this time we got enough time to call them to come down, and actually we were celebrating together this time.
So how long has it been for you to prepare for today's celebration, Diwali?
Actually, it took this time very long time. 6-7 days we have been preparing for this Diwali festival, and this year we got so many fireworks and families invited. So
during Diwali, people spend a lot of money on their decoration and food and their attire as well. So how much has your family spent this year?
Yeah, well, this time we spent $300 to $400 for the Diwali festivals, buying fireworks and preparing the sweets and inviting friends and family.
Well, that's the Pipalia family from Nandawa here celebrating Diwali, and from the FBC family, happy Diwali. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Catherine. Social Democratic Liberal Party leader Sitiveni Rambuka has clarified that despite a judgment pending on the appeal of his case with FICAC, he will be contesting the 2018 general election. With a week to go before Election Day, party supporters in Narere are still unclear on whether their votes will be counted if they vote for Rambuka. Saniani Mbola reports.
As Rambuka's judgment day draws near, Sudalpo's supporters question Rambuka on his chance of making it into parliament.
If we vote for you, what will happen to our votes if you are convicted and sentenced? We need confirmation. I will vote your number, but I want to know where my vote will go to if you're convicted.
In response, Rambuka says with his leadership, all Fijians, especially Itauke rights, will be restored.
Okay, 12th is the judgment day and 14th is the elections. So we have little time. If you don't hear anything else, then vote for my number.
Rambuka's judgment will be heard next Monday, 2 days before elections. He is charged with providing false declaration of assets, income and liabilities to the supervisor of elections. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Villagers of Nambila and Nandi have been told to refrain from reading and listening to fake news that is currently being spread around by other political parties. While campaigning in Nandi last night, Fiji First Party leader Vorenge Bainimarama urged Fijians to be careful of what information they're receiving and verify it if it is true. Details with Felipe Naikaso.
A question was posed to the Fiji First leader if it was true that according to a news article that was circulating on social media ran by a so-called Daily News saying China is warning Fiji to pay the $500 million or they will take the island of Kandavu.
That's just fake news which is currently being spread. Be careful about the type of information you read on the internet, especially social media.
Another villager had queried about Fiji's debt and if the country had money to pay it back.
No, China will not be paying our debt. Fiji will pay for its own debt. Do you know that our country has the money to pay it back? We have what is called foreign reserves and it's at $2.4 billion.
The Fiji First leader also questioned the villagers on why there is so much racial discrimination.
When you were brought up, were you taught racial discrimination at home? No. At Sunday school, were you taught to hate others? No. And in church, were you taught racial discrimination? No. Then why was there so much racial discrimination in 1987 that we hurt other people?
Bainimarama says this was also the reason why he removed a few people from his government after 2006, as they still had hate towards others. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
The Fiji First supporters say the reason they'll vote for the party is no one has been left behind and developments are for all. With around 600 supporters turning up to the Fiji First campaign in Nalovo, Nandi last night, the supporters remain confident that the party will win the election. Felipe Naikaso has more.
That's what this constitutes. These supporters of the Fiji First Party believe that under the leadership of Vorenge Bainimarama, the country has excelled.
As a parent, I don't have the burden of sending my children to school today, but my mother had, and the previous governments that came did not give enough to us.
Opportunities they give everybody in Fiji. It doesn't mean racial. They are not biased on racial watches. Gives to everybody, every individual, the opportunities to have improvement in their life.
The reason I support the Fiji First Party is because I'm able to send my kids to school, which is something I struggled with years back.
This party has done a lot for everybody, and you can see that with the developments happening around us.
The Fiji First leader told those present that they should not trust Sodelpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka, as he will take Fiji back to 1987. Bainimarama says that he continues to lie and even lied about his whereabouts during the 2000 mutiny.
He came in with his uniform and wanted to influence the senior officers for him to go back as commander of the RFMF. And the senior officers refused. But everyone said he was very lucky he was not shot and killed that day.
Bainimarama claims that Rambuka has done nothing good and is only worried about himself. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Still to come, FEO receives postal ballot papers. And climate change taking a toll on human rights. Details after the break.
Bula, nevang go malakai leloma, ngongai nakas untuk makarong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Hoya ubasit sai lambasa, ya untuk talita na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Gua do tumeli, ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Nevang go fani na tao niyo go singa toka, kita untuk talita ka ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Strict procedures will be followed to verify ballot papers received through postal voting. Deputy Supervisor of Elections Carol Winter says the returned envelopes will be opened to get the transmission envelopes and will be bundled into sets of 10. She says verification clerks will then verify signatures, sign and initial the transmission envelopes. The transmission envelopes will then be opened to get the secret ballot paper and then bundled into sets of 50. She says ballot papers will then be placed into ballot boxes until there are 500 ballots.
Supervisor will print out the labels, etc., place them on the protocol of results and into the record book. The seal numbers will be recorded and then the box will be sealed. Protocol of results in the record book are then placed in the the tamper-evident envelope, and the ballot box is then taken to our secure containers until the election night.
With pre-polling beginning this week, there have been various issues received by the Fijian Elections Office. Voters have raised it up with FEO on how survey companies are going to town, asking voters on who they believe they should lead the country and who they voted for. Anna Ravula reports.
The Fijian Elections Office has been contacted by a number of voters querying about how individuals are calling them to ask about their political preferences, which is a concern.
These individuals ask these personal questions to the voter regarding who they wish to vote for, which party they support, and which is the party that they would not like to see in Parliament. We understand that these are questions that are being posed by survey companies to voters, which are then reported in various media as survey reports.
However, Saneem is reminding the public that they do have a choice with answering these questions.
Whilst I cannot completely stop surveys, I do wish to alert all voters that if you are contacted for a survey and you do not wish to answer the questions, you have all the right to say, I decline to comment.
Meanwhile, the FEO has received 167,137 queries via the 1500 platform since it was launched in February this year. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
Only 4 of the 6 parties contesting the 2018 elections have released their manifestos, with only a week remaining before the general election. Maggie Boyle takes a closer look at the party policies and reviews the differences and the similarities on some of the big-ticket items like scholarships, a new national minimum wage, sector-specific initiatives, and the removal of VAT on basic food items.
It's effectively the framework for what each of the parties will do if they form the next government. First to release their manifesto was the Social Democratic Liberal Party, who suggests a $4 minimum wage, zero VAT on basic need food items, the removal of the tertiary education loan scheme, and reintroducing the scholarship scheme. For Unity Fiji, according to their roadmap to peace and happiness, they too would introduce a $4 wage, remove TELS, and provide free education for all Fijians up to tertiary level. According to the Fiji Labour Party, they would review TELS. They would also remove VAT imposed on basic food items. On a minimum wage, they will immediately raise it to $3.50 an hour from the current $2.68. The National Federation Party says if they are the ruling party, a $5 minimum wage would be introduced, VAT would be removed on 23 basic food items, and a national education summit would be called to urgently review the sector. As to how the parties will enable some of these measures, Sodelpa says fiscal and monetary reform will be used to stabilize government finances. Unity Fiji says that they would cut down on wastage in expenditure, review public expenditure, and use the proceeds from the sale of government assets to repay debt. FLP in their manifesto says that growing the economy again would mean reviving agriculture, sustainable fisheries and forestry development, and creating a favorable industrial and business environment. The NFP, on the other hand, says they will hold a national economic summit in the first 100 days to gather views on policies to develop business and promote economic equality. Meanwhile, Hope and Fiji First are expected to release their manifestos later this week. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The growing concerns of the adverse impacts of climate change is taking a toll around the globe, threatened by a range of human rights. While these impacts may directly and indirectly, it's evident in the rights to life, water and sanitation, food, health, housing, self-determination, culture and development. Rachel Nath reports.
The United Nations is calling on a partnership approach to ensure human rights are not threatened.
I believe that we can't have real
development if that development is not respecting the human rights. And we take human rights for granted, but we need to remain vigilant in defending human rights.
UN Rights Regional Representative Dr. Chatraleka Messi says human rights should be at the center of development, and in order to create awareness, a Sunrise initiative has been planned for next Friday.
In the Pacific today, the biggest challenge we face is climate change. And through this event, we want to say that the Universal Declaration of Human Rights is very relevant to every aspect of our life.
The experts add climate change is a fight that all citizens need to embrace and work collectively to combat. Rachel Narth, FBC News.
Ahead in sports tonight, Baber praises new players in the squad for Oceania Sevens. And Randrandra cited for a dangerous tackle. Details after the break.
Lola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Osori. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Koroko, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Osori. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Mariva. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singatoka.
Gold FM, only the classic.
Fiji Airways Flying Fijians coach John McKee hopes a majority of the players playing in the autumn test will represent the nation in the 2019 Rugby World Cup in Japan. McKee says the test is a chance for them to prove themselves and set a good platform towards the World Cup. He says he isn't using the tour to give greater depth to his squad across the board.
I'd be hoping that we can take the majority of this group through to the World Cup. I think this assembly is really part of our preparation for next year. I mean, the next time we assemble will be in our World Cup preparations.
Fiji Airways Sevens coach Gareth Baber is impressed with the commitments of new players in the squad as they prepare for the Oceania Sevens Championship this weekend. For this, Baber has roped in under-20 players Filimoni Botitu and Akelo rugby player Ilikena Vundongo. Beniamino Vota and Napoleoni Ratu have also been instrumental and competitive among the senior players in the squad. Melita Vanga reports.
With the inclusion of the new players, it has challenged the senior players to put in the extra work.
It's important they show that, they have shown that. And the two young boys, Ilikena and Botitu, have both worked hard, showed good fitness scores, have good quality in terms of the way they play the game. They're both good with the ball in hand.
Baber also applauds former Natambua High School runner Batini Savu Uluyata for his consistency.
Batini Savu, you've seen, he's played in the HSBC series, he's worked hard, he's continually working, always wants to improve, he's very coachable, and again, he's impressed to be put in a position to go put his hand up for future selection. So it's not done, but obviously it's a matter of them getting an opportunity now to put their hands up.
Meanwhile, Fiji plays Solomon Islands in its first pool match at 4:57 p.m. Friday before taking on PNG at 8:06 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. Melita Vanga, FBC Sports.
The New Zealand Sevens team who arrived in the country yesterday had their first run this afternoon as they prepare for the 2018 Oceania Sevens Championship this weekend. The side will feature two Fijians, Luke Masirewa and Joe Ravovo, who are expected to come out firing during the two-day event. Melita Vanga reports.
Coach Clark Laidlaw says the Oceania Sevens is a great chance for the team to get out on the field before the HSBC World 7 Series kicks off at the end of the month.
Any game for granted, so we just focus on ourselves. We've got some areas of the game we want to try and play well at this weekend. We're slowly building the game again towards Dubai later in the month, so we'll just concentrate on ourselves and hopefully we can get a couple of games under our belt on day one, and then similar last year where we ended up playing Australia and Fiji on day two.
Laidlaw says they cannot wait to put their practice into action on the field come Friday.
It's good to get live rugby. Training against each other every day is not ideal, so we're quite excited around getting some live rugby and try a few new things that we've been trying and training, so we're looking forward to that.
Regular captain Tom Mickelson, who will be on the reserve for this weekend's championship, says Playing in front of the Fijian crowd and playing against them is always a hard task.
Every time we come over here, we get awesome support from the fans, and every time we play Fiji, it's probably one of the hardest games we play. It's so exciting and passionate. So we're here to do well, and hopefully, if all things go to plan, we might meet Fiji again in the final.
The All Blacks will face New Caledonia and Nauru in pool play, with competition kicking off on Friday. Melita Banga, FBC Sports.
Fijian winger Semi Radradra is facing a ban for an incident which took place in the first half of Bordeaux's 14-0 top 14 thrashing at the hands of Toulouse last weekend. Radradra was yellow carded for a high challenge in the 32nd minute. He was likely to be rested for the Flying Fijians match against Uruguay next Saturday and could miss out in their match against France on the 24th of this month. Radradra is summoned before the Disciplinary and Rules Committee at its meeting next Wednesday. He is not suspended while waiting for the hearing. The LNR have not been clear as to what length of ban he could face if found guilty of an offence. Cross-country has ended 2 decades of Melbourne Cup frustration for the powerful global stable Godolphin by winning Australia's greatest horse race. On a rain-affected track and ridden by Karen McAvoy for trainer Charlie Appleby, cross-country defeated Marmelo and a Prince of Iran in all Northern Hemisphere finish. Atletico Madrid dominated Dortmund to win 2-0 in their Group A match in the UEFA Champions League this morning, snapping their opponent's unbeaten run this season. The result lifted Atletico to 9 points, level with leaders Dortmund with 2 games left in the group stage. Meanwhile, Barcelona secured their place in the Champions League knockout stage this morning with a 1-1 draw away to Inter Milan. Looking at other matches, Tottenham beat PSV 2-1, Schalke 4 defeated Galatasaray 2-0 and PSG held Napoli 1-1, while Porto hammered Moscow 4-1. It was cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands, fine apart from possible isolated afternoon or evening showers elsewhere. Taking a look at the west, hot day in all areas with Bar hitting 32 degrees. Eastwards from Pack Harbour to Suva, it was cloudy and cool conditions for most areas. And up north, good weather with some cloudy conditions. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots and up to 30 knots through the passages. Rough to very rough seas, moderate southeast swells. For the tides, the next high tide is at 8:17 p.m. with a low tide at 2:42 a.m. Sunrise is at 6:24 a.m. For tomorrow, it's cloudy periods with brief showers over the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. And looking further on to Friday, some showers. So keep the umbrella handy. Recapping the main stories for tonight. Thousands celebrate Diwali. People question Rumbuka on his status. And supporters give reason for voting for Fiji first. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, this week we're asking, are you prepared to pay your house help and gardener $5 an hour? Visit our FBC website to answer. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was the FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a blessed Diwali.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.